Hey everyone, this is Max, and in today's video we will address an elephant in the room. Do you like elephants? Probably not when they are in your room, right? So today we will discuss 6 main problems every online casino faces. Someone no one wants to speak about, something that exists, something you have to know about to be able to address those issues, to be able to visualize, to think about these things. And the most important thing is to expect those things to come because, there is no way around those things, unfortunately. So today we will discuss some aspects of customer acquisition, we'll discuss customer retention, analytics, legal compliance and risk management. We will discuss branding, big word, and also scaling your operations.
Max Carey, the one who's carrying big business. At its finest, need a license, easy decision. It's getting done when Max is stepping in. We got what you need, the licensed gentleman. The advice that you need, ask Max. Here to get you right, get you on track. The advice that you need, ask Max. Here to get you right, get you on track.
Alright, so this video is unfortunately or fortunately for serious people. So it's not like the game, okay, I want to start $1 billion business.
$1 million.
Woo! Be better than Stake.com and beat everyone. Well, Stake.com, they generate billions. So if you want to get there, you have to solve some problems, and business with problems is probably a monopoly or something similar. But every business is there and the problems are there. And it's your duty, it's your decision whether you want to solve those problems or you want to get stuck. And by addressing the things that we will discuss right now, you'll be able to deal with these things better. Definitely to address those things as they come. So the first thing that we will discuss is about the customer acquisition issue. So how normally business start their business? So how do you start your online casino business? Okay, you reach out, we start the company formation, we do the licensing, we do the structuring, everything works. So now you also, at the same time, you set up your platforms, you integrate games. Now you have games, you have tools, everything is aligned, payments. And now businesses do what? Right, they drive traffic. So you reach out to affiliates, you create your own teams, you drive SEO traffic, you do whatever you need to drive traffic in. And then, bang, nothing happens. So, for example, you have a budget. Let's say your budget is 100,000 euro, $1 million, whatever, $1 billion. And now you start driving traffic and nothing happens. So you see 0 registrations, you see 0 deposits.
I'm poor, I'm dead.
And nothing works. So now you're like, okay, let's stop this thing. So now it's time to think. What do we have? What is not working? Do we have a platform that sucks? Do we have, bad tools? Do we have a website that doesn't convert? All these things. So you blame everyone. That's why you cannot start with huge budgets. That's why you have to start testing things out. That's why you have to go and to learn how to walk inside the water before you start actually swimming there. And the first thing you want to check, of course, when you go outside and you drive that traffic is whether you have that click to registration ratio. And if that click to registration ratio is actually optimal. So let's say you have 100 people that come to your website. Fine, good achievement. Step 1. Now, what do you want them to do? Do you want them to go to check Netflix? Do you want them to go to play with their dog, maybe? Or do you want them to go and register? Well, I bet that if you spend your money, then you want them to go and to register. So out of 100 people, how many people will you have as your registered clients? That's the big question. That's the first metric you will pay attention to. And the bigger the number, the better. So if your number is, let's say, 5%, you are stuck. Because now you don't have enough of players to actually go and do the first deposit. And now your numbers cannot be correct. And speaking about getting your money back, or making profit,
I'm stuck.
Well, we just cannot speak about that, right? So we have to get this metric right first. And what can go wrong? Anything can get wrong. From our own experience, the main thing is attention to the details. And business owners usually lack that function, so they cannot do that. There are many reasons. They focus on too many things. They have to run the business, do the accounting, legal part, payments. everything. So when they have everything up and running, they forget to test things out properly. They forget to put themselves in the shoes of the client. So when people come to your website, they want to have the smooth experience. This is a very cool word, experience. So what is the experience? So if you just rewind back, 20 years, when the Google just started, they were competing against big guys back then. And the big guys used to clutch their website with all the different texts and news and things. And people, when they visited the site, they were like, I forgot why I'm here. Should I listen, guys? Okay, let me read the news. So Google decided that they will be the search engine company, period. People come there to search for information. So they decided, okay, we need one field, one button. That's it. Nothing else. No clutch. People come to their website with one idea, with one intent, to find something. So when people come to your website, what do they see? Do they have this experience where they see everything what they want to see, what they have to see? And then they have this smooth experience where they go and they register. And they enter their information, their name, their surname, sex, their email, mobile number. Now you ask them for address, for the proof of address, for the bank statement, and you lost them. Because no one will provide you with that information. That's, for the beginning. So you want to make this step as smooth as possible, asking as few questions as possible. That's why when the new regulations comes out, hi Curacao, that's why business people stress. Okay, now this new license, this new regulation forces us to collect information about the address of our players. Oh my goodness, we have a conversion rate. All the numbers will drop. Yes, the numbers will drop if you do things wrong. If you do not play according to the market rules, if you do not know the numbers.
He's a genius, right?
But if you know the numbers and you do everything nice and smooth, everything will work. You will have numbers that are true for your desktop. You will have numbers that are true for your smartphone version of your website. And smartphone version is what I want to emphasize, because people have different smartphones. One has Apple, another one Android. Android comes with Samsung and other phones and so on. Different sizes of the screen. Now people want to visit from their iPads, from the tablets. You have to optimize for all these screens, and you have to ensure that your website is good enough for them to click that register button. So when they click that register button and you've done everything well and nice, this is where you can check the step number 2, which is called registration to deposits. So now you have 70 people out of 100 people who registered on your website. Amazing. Now, what do you want them to do? You want them to go and top up their accounts and play. You don't want them to go and, to speak with their wives. You don't want them to lose this intent when they are in the buying mode. Because if you lose them here, your step number 1 will be obsolete.
I buy it.
Doesn't matter whether you did the first step right or not. So registration to deposits is just as important as clicks to registration, because you want them to take action now. They register, they go and they find that payment button to top up their account. They don't have to spend 7 business days looking for it. This is not how it works. They're in buying mode. Give them now. And make sure that experience is smooth. So for us, for example, okay, we had a case with our client where they were like, we do not understand why we do not make any money here. Okay, we started analyzing things. So, my team was working on it. We were checking what was going on. And we are like, guys, you don't even have, the top up button. I want to buy now. Buy now button, top up button over there. And it was a case for Android phones. Everything worked fine for the iPhone, but for Android, it just wasn't there. Another case, you put too many buttons around. People didn't pay you yet. You already put that customer support logo on top of your button. Put some bonuses and promotions on top of the button. So people are trying to click complete the payment, do that thing, and they cannot, because you have that customer support button in the middle. And instead of paying right now, they have this customer support popping out with AI on it. So that's just the obvious thing, but it's the detail that matters. Until today, no one will bring you the out-of-the-box solution where they will tell you, Alright guys, this is the system, now you are fine, going billions and billions and billions.
What are your superpowers again?
I'm rich.
Details matter. It's your job to go and to test things out. So these are the biggest things actually, the smallest and the biggest things related to the customer acquisition, because when you are just starting, you are nervous, you're spending your budget, you're doing things, but you do not know if you do things right or wrong. So you may be like, guys, I'm just like too stressed. I do not know what to do. So pay attention to these things. They're happening more often than you even think. Alright, let's go to the problem number 2, which is the customer retention. Player churn. So let's say you are now between the big boys. You are now have your things and done. Customer acquisition is working perfectly. So you come to the business running and gunning like to the proper shootout. But now there's another problem. Players leave. And players leave is the big problem in any online casino business. So you do everything that is possible. You spend a lot of money attracting clients. But now you figure that it's just a small percentage of your people actually remain. Well, what to do with that one and why do they leave? So the first problem why they leave is actually problems depositing and topping up their accounts fast. The second one is your website speed. Well, if your website speed sucks, they cannot top up their account. Experience from, your games just is non-existent. And of course, they cannot spend everything today should work as fast as possible. I was speaking today with the SEO team. They say mobile speed should be for SEO measurements, SEO metrics should be 70%. And for desktop 90%. So everything should load immediately. You load your website over 1.5 seconds, you lose speed. You cannot make them wait. Everything should be done as fast as possible. So website speed. Then sluggish customer support.
I don't want lunch. I want breakfast.
Yeah, well, hey, I'm really sorry.
Yeah. Well, hey, I'm really sorry too.
They do not have anyone to answer them. You have AI on it, really? So don't do that. So then long payouts, or you don't pay them at all. Well, that's a problem. And the last one, of course, is the user experience itself. What do I mean by user experience? I mean like engagement campaigns. I mean, do they have something and the reason to stay on your platform? So let's start with the first one. So payments, right? So slow payments, non-existing payments, and so on. Well, we discussed that already in our previous videos. We discussed this, that it's important to have this registration to the deposit factor where payments play a huge role. But even if you solve that problem and now you have all the systems tuned and the customer acquisition is kind of happening fine, now you have to pay attention to actually successful ratio. So let's say we have 10 people coming to your online casino. Checking your data, you see that all of them, like all 10, land on the deposit page. So now they're probably entering their card information. So name, surname, credit card, CVV, expiration date, all that. And now you see that just 1 or 2 out of 10 make a successful purchase. What is going on? So that's why it's so important to work with quality payment system providers, with companies that are responsible for your payment processing thing. And there are so many of them. I mean, if you go to any exhibition, you will find tons of platforms, but every single platform will also offer you payment solutions and everyone. So that's why when people come to me and they say, Max, can you promote our payment system provider solution? Yesterday I had one.
Now, the key to making money in a situation like this is to position yourself now before the settlement.
I'm like, just ignoring them, because I do not know who they are. I do not understand your numbers. I assume that they just want to make some money, probably leave you without any money at all, probably to collect some deposits and just leave you in the dust. So this is not how it works. So working with quality ones that are on the market for a long time, ones that can present you with the solid numbers, with the success rates for every market that you want to target, those are the ones that you have to work with. In our case, we do this screening of all of them. If I do recommend someone, if we work on integration, we do that integration with people we know, We do the introduction one-on-one, so we do not sit in between collecting all of them. So we want the online casino owners to have this direct connection with the best payment system providers depending on the market, because for India, you will need UPI. That's how they pay, using UPI system. In Brazil, you will need PIX. This is how they pay. In Europe, you will need open banking cards, because this is how people pay in this region. In the Philippines, GCash. So there are multiple solutions. You will need all of them, because you do not ask your person, your client, to pull out some sort of a Visa or MasterCard based on your preference. You come up with what they want. You follow the market. If they want red, you give them red. If you want the green, you give them green. They want salty, don't forget also to give some salt. So that's how you deal with the payments issue. Now, poor customer support. I have discussed this topic, and there will be another video soon on the VIP support. But there was a video on the customer support and how to make it properly and how to get it done. So we cover this topic from A to Z, and you can come back to my previous video and check that out. And if you didn't check that out, I insist you to check that out, and I will leave that link in the comment section. So go and check in the description section below this video. So go and click that button and check that video, because customer support is important. And there are a few things you have to know. First, response times, as fast as possible. You want them now to respond to the issues of your clients.
I want answers, and fast.
The second one is no AI. You have to, combine AI with human touch. People want to speak to people. They don't want those AIs answer. At least not till the point where no one will recognize whether that's an AI speaking to them or a real human being is typing that message. And currently, we are not at that stage yet. So those are the most important things, really. The rest is described in my previous video. So let's go to the third one. That was payment delays, right? So you may ask, well, how long can I delay my payment? Or can I not to pay? You cannot. You have to pay fast. You have to pay faster, and you have to think how to improve that payment option even after that. So the best thing to look at it is just go and check your market. So you go and check the best guys on the market, and you go and check how fast do they pay. And the truth is instant, because that's how the psychology works. This is what your players expect. You receive payments fast. Pay them fast as well, because this is the only way they will come back again to you. You delay that process, you do that not just like top 5 guys in your industry, in your market do, and you lose your clients, because there are other guys who will pay them fast.
This sucks.
That's the essence of the business. This is how you build your name. This is how people go around and they start saying, listen, these guys, they pay out fast. They paid me, they paid my friend. And that's how the world spreads around. So you want to pay your customers really, really fast. This is the part of building your brand. Do not be one of these casinos where you can read on Ask Gamblers or whatever on Google that they never paid me $500, but I lost their 50,000. Like, really? Don't even ask that question. Just make sure you do that. Just act as the big guys do. And if you are a big guy, props to you. Very good job. This is what we all want to see. Successful online casinos, honest online casinos, casinos that pay. Because people are there to receive experience, and many of them lose a lot of money. Alright, engagement. You want to increase and improve your customer experience. It means increasing engagement. There are metrics for it. You can check Google Analytics. You can have Tableau system that gives you everything in visual way for how long people stay in your casino, what do they play, how do you do that? Well, you may think, we do bonuses, sign-up bonuses, free spins, whatever. Well, guess what? This is not enough. You know why it's not enough? Because, yes, everyone loves amazing deals, everyone loves discount. This is how you put your foot in the door. But this is not how you retain your customer. Do you remember we have this topic, customer retention right now going on? So how do you do that? Well, the first thing is you can think about, we have to increase some sort of a gamification. What is gamification? Well, do you remember yourself, a child, a kid, running around with different kids, girls, doing bad stuff, then going outside and showing yourself, listen, I competed against John, I competed against Sally, and I won them all. I was the first guy. This is what gamification is. You have to make sure that your people love you, not because you do some sort of a discount for them, but because you give that level of attachment.
From the balcony.
Because you go in with the level that will allow them to compete against each other, that will allow to see their names on the leaderboards. This is how you make sure that they come back. So leaderboards, reward system, leveling, multi-leveling system. When you open more and more of benefits, more they play, the more they get. All these things matter, and all these things attach people to your brand. So I had a conversation recently with our CRM manager, the best of the best. The person knows his thing so good that I have to call him almost every day to ask his opinion on a couple things. So he told me, Max, when you get your first client in the door, it means nothing. He doesn't know you, he doesn't recognize you, it's easy to forget you. So when he closes his browser, he just leaves to check some movies. Tomorrow he will never remember you again.
Who are you? Question is, who are you?
This is a problem. When he comes back the second time, yeah, that's nice. This is how he starts to recognize you. This is where, you are doing something right. This is probably where you send him a message. Maybe there was another bonus that you sent. But when he comes to you the third time, that's where you see that spike in customer retention. That's where the loyalty levels go up. That's where your players become your best ambassadors. That's where they go out, they run outside, they talk about you, they call their friends, they invite their friends to play with you, because all the previous steps, user experience, payment, deposit, withdrawals, you did that right. So everyone will be speaking about you, and now you have to increase their engagement so they come back and they play and they like your casino, because this is essential as well for your branding. Alright, the third big problem. Third elephant in the room. Key metrics and analytics. So let's speak about analytics. We live in a data world. Data is the king. Everyone collects the data. Your smartphone knows more about you than your wife knows about you. Period. Accept that. You like that. You hate that. That's true.
I know very well.
Now I'm speaking about some sort of a loyalty programs. I expect something will pop up probably in ad section for me. That's life. So you have to collect that data as well. And the more data you collect, the better. So when you have traffic going in, you have to start collecting all the information that you do. Part of that information will be collected by your dashboard platform. Part of that information will be collected by the tools like CRM and the risk management, and all of these beautiful things. So now it's important to not just collect the data, because it's useless if you do not analyze it. So imagine yourself in the lab, and the big scientist is you yourself. So now you are in the lab collecting all the information, using all the tools, checking what is going on with your business. So you connect all your vital systems, customer support, CRM, all your website pages, registration forms, everything flows in. Data from all the sources. Now you sit and check that data, and you think what that data means. Oh, why do people drop during the registration? How to increase the customer loyalty? What games my players prefer to play? Maybe my market is Turkey. What do they prefer to play there? Oh, my another market, by the way, is India. What do they prefer to play there? Maybe there are some marketing campaigns differences. So you collect all that information to do what? Nothing. I'm just joking. Of course, you have to do something with that information. So being in the lab, now you have to test. You put outside all the tools and you're testing things out to check whether this blue liquid will work with this red liquid, right? And then go against the market and test it out. So that's exactly what you do with your online casino. You have to do and to run your marketing campaigns and to do A/B tests for that to understand which one performs better, because essentially the one that performs less will lose more money for you, and the one that performs better will make more money for you as well. Amazing. So data without analysis, data without execution is just irrelevant. It doesn't exist. So you have to make sure that you have this process where you have data flowing in, analytics, and then execution, trying to test into all different parts what players love to play, what bonuses work the best, because now you can tune your offers, you can tune your ads, you can tune your marketing campaigns to perform better based on data, not on astrology. Do not trust astrology. I would choose data every day over astrology. So data is there for the reason. Go ahead and implement that as well.
You will be warrior once more.
Problem number 4, the compliance and the changes of the compliance, regulation changes. Sometimes, like probably 2 times every week, I have some calls that start like this. Man, we are ready to execute. We're ready to go and to start building our business. But you know what? Can you please, we have this fear that the regulation will change in 1 or 2 years. Maybe you know something. How can you guarantee that it will not change? How can you guarantee that tomorrow the nuke will not explode or your wife will not cheat on you with your neighbor? How you can guarantee that the Microsoft or Apple will not get some fine, like a 5 billion euro fine tomorrow from European Union? You cannot. It's either you accept the rules and you play the game, and the world, just by definition, is always changing. It's not that you set up the systems and you do nothing, and you're like, okay, everything is fine in my life, what is going on? This is not how it works. Everything evolves. Regulation evolves. You have to be on the market to understand what's going on and then to adopt to things. You cannot control many things. So when something pops up and the regulation changes, you have to admit that and then to take action. Sometimes that action means to change the license. Sometimes that action means to adopt your IML policies, KYC policies, to do something differently. So that's what it means. So that's why we are here, because that's our job, to help the people we work with, and that's why you have this thing on your shoulder. It's important to understand that. So if you're bothered about that something will change in 2 months, you better be bothered about the market, because the market will change in 2 years as well, and something that works today will not work in 2 years. You cannot sell today Nokia phones. Today, people pay attention to Apple products, to Samsung products, and there are like top 5 brands maybe that are selling their things. Well, we can do that. So you have to be smart and you have to act and adopt, and that's the way to go.
Adapting and retraining as needed.
So I hope it's clear. Let's go with the number 5, which is branding. And I love branding. It's an amazing piece of information. I love branding because no one pays attention to it, because everyone prefers to hustle. So a gentleman I know, amazing gentleman, I met him at the Barcelona Ice just a couple days ago. Best age, just above 70 years old. He's a consultant. He comes to me sharp as a blaze. And we discussed one thing about, the profit of online casino, and he tells me, Max, everyone can make 200,000 a month of profit. This is not what we are in for, right? We are in for the big impact. We are here to build a business that will count. We are here to play between big boys. And I was like, yeah, true. And the only way to do that is to actually build your brand and to pay attention. So what is it? What is the branding? It's everything and nothing. It's not something that you can touch. It's not your watch. It's not your car. But it's definitely something you invest attention, energy, and money to.
Waste of money.
So the best way to think about the branding is literally to think about what do people think about when you are not in the room, right? So what do people think about your online casino? Do they believe that you are too pushy, pushing your next offer, sending them 55 messages every second? This can be your strategy, but then have that agility and also be strong enough to accept that, because now you will burn your database of your clients very fast just for the cost of making a couple bucks more. It can be your strategy, short term, long term, or you want to be perceived as a brand that respects their clients, as a brand that gives them time, that gives them flexibility, that approaches them with dignity, respect, gives them the best out of the best and doesn't bother them because of some small things that you decided to test them. Of course, that's also the consistency. How do you send your messages, and whether your messages are consistent, whether your values are distributed properly, and whether your values are acceptable to people around you. to your clients. So that's of course the consistency in fonts, in logos, and brands. But this is not the most important. The most important thing is to have that conversation with your client. How do you lead that? What that conversation will look like? Will you speak with your client just like with the best friend, or you will speak with them just like with the robot, with the machine, with someone that doesn't have a soul? So I think the answer is obvious. So now, of course, you have to develop the brand book and all the things and everything. And brand will just make that difference for you, where you will not build yourself a hustle maker. You will build the things, you will build a business people trust.
I trust you.
Think about Apple. Everyone can sell phones today. The market is super competitive. I read that Nokia just withdrew from producing smartphones because they cannot compete on the market. Nokia, would you imagine that like 20 years ago? It would be impossible, but now they're off the market. But why people prefer to go and buy Samsung, Apple? Because there is trust that is installed in them, and the people in your company will do the same. When I'm going and buying Apple, I don't even think what kind of smartphone I buy. I see they have the new one. All right, in my mind, that's a good phone. They probably have the best camera. They probably have the best product. But also, I know that if something happens, if there is a problem, I can come back to them and I can say, guys, this thing doesn't work. And no questions will be asked. They will just refund the money or they will replace the thing. I can find them everywhere. I can call them. I can send them a message to their customer support. Everything is fast. I can pay fast, and I can even withdraw money fast, because I know I just recently tried to buy the case for the smartphone, and then I changed my mind. I changed my mind after 5 minutes because I was like, okay, I will be in that shop. Maybe I can check it physically, not online. So they said, no problem, we didn't bill your card. For the next, I think 30 minutes, they didn't even charge the card. That's how amazing it is. I just know that. So this is the power of the brand, value system, and the conversation that you have with your client. Pay attention to that one. The last one is the tricky one, because I have nothing to say about it, because the topic is just as big as this world, as this universe. It's a lifetime skill. This is something that you have to develop over the period of your life. This is the scaling. What is scaling? There is a formula for it. It's P times E times O times P times L times Z. People. That's it. We can finish the video. So, what is people? You have to be able to attract the best talent on the market. If you're looking for the best customer acquisition guy when you grow, or the customer retention, or the customer support, whatever the person is, you cannot hire, your daddy, because your daddy just finished the law school. He'll be an amazing expert. You have to hire an expert to handle the task. If you're going after the marketing guy, you do not hire your brother-in-law because he just finished the high school with amazing knowledge. That's not how you build expertise. You build expertise over the years, and there are people, working on the market for years, 5, 10, 15 years, working out different strategies, failing, succeeding. This experience, of course, is invaluable. How do you attract the talent and how you retain the client? This is really the lifetime skill. This is something that you can read in the books. Check on YouTube. There are many things and many resources where you can read about this. But a truly amazing brand, the brand that is growing, the brand that is dynamic, the brand that costs tons of money, cannot exist without the people. And because the people are building it. And it depends whether you have beautiful people that are the best experts, that are the high performers, and whether you are capable of building that culture inside your team when everyone is aligned to your vision, where everyone understands the goals of the company and everyone shares the goals of your company. Because if someone doesn't, then they are like the rotten tomato and they will be infecting everything. Also the skill, you have to learn how to hire, but also how to fire, right? And there are deep things involved into this one. There are psychological things where people cannot say no, where people cannot fire people, where people are just, they're not empathetic to other people around. So I love the book, The Tough-Minded Management. So this is one of the books that you can pay attention to. But realistically, I cannot even mention all the resources where you can learn the skill. but this is something that either make you super successful or not. And all the previous things don't actually matter on the global scale when you're building a brand that will stay here for dozens of years. And if you want to compete with steak, you have to do what steak does. Because I always hear like, guys, we want to be bigger than steak. Really? So the first part here is actually to have the best talent. And then there are other things we'll just align with that, because people come with people, and the best people come also with best people, and the processes and the data and the ideas and the market knowledge, and you can mention it. All right, everyone, this is the entire video. I hope you like that, you enjoyed that just like I did. So see you soon in my next video. See you soon and goodbye.